Present state, I see myself as having like 5 distinct different lifetimes. So the telling here is the third evolution of myself as Leaf Mcgowan. So as I evolved as Leaf Mcgowan, coming out of Sir Tom when I first moved from quest of this video blog series was my quest of living in the Pacific Northwest. In 2000, journeying west and following the oracles from Florida to British Columbia. 2001 to 2004, covered life in the Great White North from British Columbia, Washington State, and Oregon, and my life in Canada, and then becoming known as Leaf. I explored, bounced from monogamy into polyamory, explored different relationship models, and then I had a magical mystery tour, Florida to Canada. I was given the name Leaf by my Canadian friends and community in Vancouver, BC. And I don't know, my subcultures at the time was as a goth, as a techno-gypsy, as a .com developer, an archaeologist, and I was exploring Canadian culture, investigating immigration to there. I studied at the University of British Columbia and lived in Little India, Kitsilano, and Point Roberts. I was a single parent of a high school daughter. 9/11 closed the borders between the two countries, forcing me to have a move back to America. I took a magical tour across America during this time and this identity, leading to the love story of myself, Leaf, with Fire Fae. We had a pregnancy and the birth of Prince Liam, who may or may not be my child. I got trapped in Los Angeles. I lost my car, explored the West Coast. I moved to Seattle and worked for Microsoft. I lived in an artist community called Haunta House in Seattle and delved deeply into the grunge, goth, industrial noise, and 80s music. My daughter, Princess Brianna, grew up and moved in with her boyfriend, left the nest while I settled into Seattle. I quit the .com world and dove back into archaeology. That took me doing works, expeditions, surveys, and excavations into the American Southeast. Then covered the life in Seattle in 2003. My life in the Haunta House in the U District, working at Microsoft and Wave Broadband. Then I went back into the world of archaeology, excavating and surveying the American Southeast. Became a beach project in Washington, the Miami Circle in Florida, surveying the Mississippi River levee system before a catastrophe like Hurricane Katrina could happen. With Hurricane Katrina on my tail, while I was excavating in the Miami Circle, I decided to take a archaeology job, curator job with the U.S. Army in Colorado Springs, Colorado, working on Fort Carson military base and the Pinyon Canyon maneuver site. Had a fantastic life and community in Colorado. Had a store. I took a walkabout down under to Australia, explored the southern hemisphere. I lived in Cornwall, England, helped run an excavation field school there on the witch pits. I danced with Cornish fairies, got very lost, explored Wales, Scotland, and moved back to America to assist the Irish in building a Celtic dragon at Burning Man, and exploring Europe for the first time. And that's when I got the prophetic quests of Lady of the Rhine, the quest of the Enchanted Ring and Key. and I had a actual physical brick and mortar store of my long lived shop, the Tree Leaves Oracle, in Manitou Springs, Colorado. And then I explored creating groups with the fairies and fairies and exploring the mythologies. Then returned back to the States to help the Irish build a Celtic dragon for Burning Man. And then I met who I thought was the love of my life, a prophetic Irish bride, to which we had a child named Cian. And the Leal Femme and the Hill of Terra echoed to me to propose to her. And that was when I fell in love with an Irish woman who I thought was my prophesized Irish bride. We had a child, and then I evolved into Sir Thomas Leaf at that point.